Hi guys, welcome to Ideas of Ice and Fire. This is my episode review for Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 6. So this episode starts with Mira struggling to drag Bran through the haunted forest away from the Whites. During this time, Bran is still having visions and he sees some pretty amazing things. He sees the Mad King Aerys Targaryen, aka Daenerys Targaryen's father, screaming, "Burn them all!" And you see wildfire being made. We also see Jaime take a sword and kill the Mad King. Now, this already happened. It's all in the past. At the end of Robert's rebellion, when the king realized that he had been tricked by Tywin Lannister, he told the pyromancers to set everything on fire, set all of King's Landing on fire. It didn't work, obviously, because Jaime saves the day by killing King Aerys and killing the pyromancer. We get a glimpse at future King's Landing as well. We see a dragon flying overhead. We also see wildfire exploding, which looks like is going to be a pretty catastrophic event. If the rumors are true, then the Mad King hid wildfire like all over the city. All it would take would be like a small spark in the wrong place and the whole city would go up like a matchbox. Now, it may either be the dragon that causes this catastrophe, but my favorite personal idea is that it will be Cersei that burns King's Landing. Bran also sees the Night King, he sees Jon at Hardhome, he sees the birth of Dany's dragons, he sees the death of his father, he sees the death of his mother, he sees his own fall from the tower, he gets even a glimpse of Lyanna Stark in her bed of blood. So he and Mira get stuck, and Bran wakes up and very calmly informs Mira that the others have arrived. But a mysterious cloaked figure dressed in all black and riding a horse shows up and, kicks their ass and they go with him. Who is this guy? Wait, that reveal comes later in the episode. So Sam and Gilly arrive at Hornhill, the seat of House Tarly, where he hopes his father will keep Gilly and her baby. The plan is to lie and say that the baby is actually his, when we know of course that it's not, it's actually Craster's baby. The actor that plays Gilly is really good at looking dumb. I mean, they talk in that car for 2 or 3 minutes and the entire time she just looks so stupid. She's just got her mouth wide open like, which is good, I guess, because Gilly is supposed to be uneducated, but it cracks me up a little bit. She's got it down packed. A few things happen in the dinner scene that I thought were pretty cool. Show watchers finally get a glimpse of how much of an ass Randyll Tarly is. In the books, he shows up a few times before this, so we pretty much already know, but this scene really illustrates it perfectly. He makes fun of Sam for being fat, he calls Gilly a whore multiple times, especially when he finds out that she's a wildling, because that guy does not like wildlings, but even points to the ancestral sword of House Tarly, Heartsbane, which by all rights should have went to Sam. He looks at Sam and he says, "You will never wield this sword because you're not worthy." So it makes it even more satisfying when Sam takes Gilly and the baby at the inn and grabs the sword and sneaks away in the middle of the night. Now what I would like to know is whether or not Sam still plans on going to the Citadel and becoming a maester for the Night's Watch. It doesn't really seem like he can at this point because Hornhill is not that far from Old Town, and Randyll Tarly knows that's where Sam is headed. If Sam was actually going there, it would be pretty easy to find him. So it looks like Sam might actually be forsaking his vows to the Night's Watch to be with Gilly and the baby. We're back again with Arya. She's watching the play. She sneaks backstage and drops the poison into the wine unseen. The actress that plays Cersei in the play notices her and they have a conversation, a little heart to heart. Arya starts to feel sympathy for her. Long story short, Arya ends up not only sparing the woman, but warning her about the other actress that's trying to kill her as well. Arya runs back and digs up Needle. She was never no one. Now, I've been saying this for a while. Not only did she keep her needle, her sword, also her wolf, Nymeria, is alive and well, and she's actually getting up to some pretty big shenanigans in Westeros in the books. She also dreams about the wolf in the books. So to me, these two things were indications that she would never truly be no one, because she was still Arya Stark. So now that the Faceless Men are after Arya, we can probably look forward to a cool game of cat and mouse between the waif and Arya. I'm hoping that Arya gets back to Westeros as soon as possible and is reunited with Nymeria, her wolf. Now, for my book readers out there, I don't see this as the way it will happen in the books. However, I don't think that Arya will ever complete her training in the books. I don't think that'll happen. She's Arya Stark. She's never been no one. She was never able to truly shed her identity. I don't think the Faceless Men are going to kill Arya. I think that Arya's learned enough to defend herself from the waif. And I feel like if the waif fails, then they may let Arya go. Because when the waif goes to Jaqen, she comes to him and she says, "You promised me." And he looks at her and he says, "Don't let her suffer." So that tells me that maybe it's the waif that maybe wants to wear Arya's face for some reason, and that it's not really the faceless men that are after her. So we will see in the upcoming episodes though. Well, I guess it's time to talk about King's Landing. The High Sparrow is one sneaky bastard, and Lady Olenna's face is priceless when she sees just how brainwashed Marjorie is. It's so funny because Marjorie is legit creepy to me now. She's so scary the way she smiles and talks. Oh my god, you're just creepy. And Tommen, oh poor, weak Tommen, your time in this world is short. I'm sorry man, but if you can be manipulated so easily, you're not fit to be king. Tommen is just far too innocent. So, as Earthlings, we look at this and we immediately see what's wrong with it. Our society today is still seeing the effects of this point in our own history when theocracies roamed rampant, and it never ends well for anyone. I just want to remind everyone, however, that this is all Cersei's fault. She's the one that armed the Faith Militant. So yeah, it's all her fucking fault. So Tommen sends Jaime to the Riverlands to deal with Riverrun, which is pretty much exactly where Jaime ends up in the book. So I would say at this point, Jaime's story is on track to set up some events that take place in A Feast for Crows, which is some very cool stuff. I'll just say that. It might spoil future events in the show, so I'm not gonna give that away just yet. Cersei is still waiting to stand her trial by combat, and she's obviously planning on using the mountain. I'm gonna say it right now. Whether or not Cersei loses the trial by combat or not, she's not going out like that. Cersei, throughout this entire season, has clearly been weaving something. She has some secret plans that have yet to be revealed. She's sneaky this season. She's a lot calmer this season. So no, Cersei's planning and plotting, and I'm very interested in seeing what it is. Me personally, I believe that she's going to burn King's Landing to the ground. And it would not be the first time that she's used wildfire, because if you remember back to season 2, it was her idea initially to use wildfire because she's obsessed with fire in the books as well. She burns the Tower of the Hand in the books, and she's like loving it. Jaime says that she's like never looked more beautiful in the glow of the flames, and she just loves it so much. Yeah, she's crazy. So time for the big reveal. It turns out that Cold Hands is actually Benjen Stark, except not really. Okay, my book readers and show watchers, it's time to sit around and let me explain what's actually going on here. Benjen Stark, right now in the show, is a merger of himself and another character from the book. Now, the character from the book that he has been merged into is Cold Hands. Now, we know that George R. R. Martin has confirmed that Benjen is not Cold Hands in the books, but in the show it looks like they've merged these two characters. And in the books we don't really know how Cold Hands got how he got, but in the show they do reveal that the children saved him, and by sticking a dragonglass dagger into his heart, they stopped the magic of the White Walkers from, succeeding basically. So he has his own mind, he has his own control. So Bran has all this knowledge, he has full access to all this information and power, he just doesn't know how to control it, and I guess that's why Cold Hands is there to help him and to teach him and to be there as his guide while he's learning. And they are going south of the wall. So a lot of you guys to think that because Bran had that mark, that it means the Night's King is getting through. Well, apparently so, because Benjen basically says he's going to get through and you have to be there to fight him. So I'm waiting to see that. It's going to be good in these upcoming seasons and episodes, guys. So there is the final scene with Daenerys Targaryen. It's her and Daario Naharis and the rest of the Khalasar, and they're walking to wherever, and she's talking about how she's gonna conquer and but then she's like, wait, what's over there behind the corner? And she kind of disappears for a while, and she comes back with a dragon, and the dragon looks phenomenal. Like, the CG work is brilliant. It's so amazing. It looks so much better than the last time we saw the dragons earlier this season. Drogon looks so good. He looks incredible. Oh my god. It's like movie quality, like $200 million movie quality stuff. It's so good. But the scene itself was so damn shoehorned and like kind of just like whatever. Dany's done this like a million times. Like, she's given speeches with the dragons and, whatever. We've seen this before, it's nothing new really, except we get to see Drogon and what he finally looks like. So I guess that's cool. The highlights of this episode for me were Bran's visions and also Hornhill. I really liked seeing Sam's interactions with his father. I felt like the actor for Randall Tarley was absolutely perfect. I really enjoyed those scenes. I'll give this episode an 3 out of 10. It was definitely more of a setting stuff up. It was definitely more of a setting stuff up episode, but I did enjoy it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more ideas of Ice and Fire. Peace out.